After 2, 1, 2. Woo! Next we have the Minister of Mines and Mineral Resources. After 2, 1, 2. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And next, the CEO of the foundation, Dimitri Dektiarev, will do the third layer. After 2, 1, 2, a round of applause. Thank you so much, Madam Minister. You may wish to, yes, can we proceed, please?
Now declare the house open.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It now gives me pleasure to invite the head of the Russian House, Dimitri Dektiarev, with a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, to share with us the purpose of the Russian House and maybe to speak to the objective of the Russian Heritage Foundation. Dimitri.
Dear guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to welcome you today in the ceremony of opening Russian House. My English not so good, and my British colleague helped me to translate my words to you. Это знаменательный день для нашей организации, которая подготовила это мероприятие, чтобы поприветствовать главных лиц страны и рассказать вам о наших планах и задачах.
This is a notable day for our international organization, which created this event in order to highlight the principal goals and to welcome the main persons of the country.
Sierra Leoneans, let's see what they do for push this country go before. Wake up your body and do something.
This na the program do don't clean with Baba.
The same old system and the same problem. So wait till we for do we never did. Wait for make this problem just so win.
The Minister of Planning and Economic Development, the Minister of Mines and Mineral Resources, Excellency Ambassador and Plenipotentiary of the Republic of Sierra Leone to the Russian Federation, the representative of the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Deputy Director General of Operations, the Deputy Director General of MDAs, distinguished head and representatives of the Russian Heritage Foundation, our friends in the media, my colleagues and Macaulay, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. May I have the honor of formally calling this program to order and wish to utilize the opportunity to formally welcome all of us to the formal launch of the Russian Heritage Foundation and the formal opening of the Russian House. I believe in a reasonable and profound estimation, this program that is being unveiled situates squarely and favorably within the grand scheme of Sierra Leone's diplomatic and bilateral relations with the Russian Federation. Without further ado, it now gives me pleasure to invite the head of the Russian House, Dimitri Dektiarev, with a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, to share with us the purpose of the Russian House and maybe to speak to the objective of the Russian Heritage Foundation. Dimitri.
Dear guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to welcome you today in the ceremony of opening Russian House. My English not so good, and my British colleague helped me to translate my words to you. Это знаменательный день для нашей организации, которая подготовила это мероприятие, чтобы поприветствовать главных лиц страны и рассказать вам о наших планах и задачах.
This is a notable day for our international organization, which created this event in order to highlight the principal goals and to welcome the main persons of the country.
Цель Русского дома – продвигать русскую культуру и ценности во всем мире.
The objective of the Russian House is to promote Russian culture and values throughout the world.
Русская культура очень разнообразна. Она объединяет традиции многих народов страны. В России проживает 190 национальностей, и у каждой из них есть своя история, свои традиции и своя культура.
Russian culture is very diverse. It unites the traditions of many nations of the country. 190 nationalities live in Russia, and each of them has its own traditions and its own culture.
На нашу культуру также влияют географические особенности. Россия является самой большой по площади страной в мире. Конечно, такая огромная территория влияет на нашу культуру страны и ее многообразие.
Our culture is also influenced by geographical features. Russia is the biggest country in the world. Of course, such a huge territory affects the culture of our country and its diversity.
Интересно, что некоторые из великих людей России имели африканские корни. Например, величайший поэт Пушкин. Многие российские писатели, поэты и художники посещали Африку и посвящали ей свои произведения.
It's interesting that some of the great people of Russia had African roots. For example, the main Russian poet Pushkin. Also, many Russian writers, poets, and artists visited Africa and dedicated their work of art to it.
Боюсь, мы не сможем рассказать вам всего, но мы постараемся познакомить народ Сьерра-Леоне с лучшими из российской поэзии, музыки, науки, культуры, того, что легло в основу развития нашего общества.
I'm afraid we won't be able to tell you everything, but we will try to introduce the people of Sierra Leone to the best of Russian literature, poetry, music, science, what formed the basis of the development of our society.
Это будет отражено в спектаклях, выставках, фильмах, фотографиях и различных видах развлечений. Кстати, одну из таких выставок мы открыли сегодня, и после официальной части мы пригласим вас наверх, чтобы посмотреть на нее.
This will be reflected through performances, exhibitions, films, photos, and different ways of entertainment. By the way, one of them is open today, and after the official part, we will invite you upstairs to visit it.
Другая большая часть работы посвящена образованию в рамках международного развития и сотрудничества. Нам предстоит организовать онлайн-занятия по русскому языку, организовать программу обмена студентами и их обучения в российских вузах.
Other great part of job is devoted to education as part of international development and collaboration. We are to organize online classes of Russian language, to arrange the program of exchanging students and their studying in Russian universities.
У нашей организации есть соглашение с ведущими российскими университетами. Они готовы предоставить опытных преподавателей языка для организации обучения.
Our organization has agreements with leading Russian universities. They are ready to provide experienced language teachers to organize training.
Все эти преподаватели специализируются на работе с иностранными студентами и преподают по государственным стандартам высочайшего качества.
All these teachers specialize in working with international students and teach according to state standards of high quality.
Подобные международные образовательные программы уже запущены во многих странах, таких как ЦАР, Гвинеи, Индонезии, Египте, Индии и других странах по всему миру. В 2025 году мы запустим данную программу и в Сьерра-Леоне.
Such international education programs have already been launched in many countries, such as Central African Republic, Guinea, Indonesia, Egypt, India, and other countries all over the world. In 2025, we will launch this program in Sierra Leone.
Русский дом также является центром притяжения для представителей бизнеса. Это привлечет дополнительные инвестиции в Сьерра-Леоне.
Our foundation is a center of attraction for business representatives also. This attracts investments in Sierra Leone.
Сегодня мы видим очевидную линию на установление крепких отношений между Россией и Сьерра-Леоне и сделаем все возможное, чтобы поддержать эту тенденцию и укрепить нашу дружбу.
Nowadays, we see the evident line of making strong relationship between Russia and Sierra Leone, and we will do our best to support the tendency and strengthen our friendship.
Большое спасибо за внимание. А теперь я хотел бы пригласить господина посла Йонгава добавить несколько слов.
Thank you very much for your attention. And now I would like to invite Mr. Ambassador to add some words.
Thank you, Dimitri. He will come as per protocol. By the way, the safari looks very good on you. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the key defining features of the Russia-Sierra Leone Development Cooperation is education. Many Sierra Leoneans have had the opportunity of being educated and trained in various fields, from medicine to engineering, from agriculture to mining. And we have one of those very proud students, someone who is a proud beneficiary of Russian erudition and who may wish to share with us his kind sentiments. With a round of applause, I wish to invite Dr. Kapua, who studied in Russia, is Sierra Leonean, and he wishes to share. I see Minister Mata is looking at me like.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. His Excellency, the Ambassador of Sierra Leone to the Russian Federation, honorable ministers of government here present, kindly permit me to stand on existing protocols. Ladies and gentlemen, of course,
please subscribe to my new YouTube channel Don CLIN and hit the notification bell to be notified for new videos.
To ensure that this becomes a success, to ensure that the distance between Sierra Leone and Russia gets smaller. As you know, we have a lot in common. Sierra Leone, 72,000 square kilometers, Russia, 17 million square kilometers. We share boundaries with two countries, Liberia and Guinea. Russia shares boundaries with 14 countries. We have one time zone. Russia has 11. So you see the commonality I'm talking about? So if we continue to respect, value each other's principles, values, traditions, and imbibe that, I think these differences will become zero. And that's why we are gathered here today. And I do believe this journey we are starting, we probably might not live to see the end result, but I admonish everyone here, let's enjoy the process. It's a process that was started, and I encourage everyone to enjoy it. Don't wait for the end result, because there's not going to be an end to it. And we are going to make sure that we make this a success. And I want to thank everybody who have come here today to join us in this opening ceremony. And I hope this house will not just be a physical manifestation of the friendship we've built, but we'll all live here with a bit of soul, Russian soul and spirit. And we'll match that with our Sierra Leonean freedom, unity, justice, and our friendship and our resilience to come up as better people. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister Matai, for so profoundly speaking to our ties with the Russian Federation. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to take a few seconds to pay tribute to the people who have worked so hard to get us to where we are today. A lot of reference has been made to Ambassador Yongao, and I can personally attest to that. I have also been put under tremendous pressure because I happen to be the legal counsel for the foundation and also for several business interests of the Russians. And I know how immensely we have worked to get to this point. Special tribute to Dimitri Tektyarev, who is the CEO for the foundation. Alexander Sokolov, who has also worked tremendously on this to get us to this point. And they have their colleagues sitting here. All of them together, we have worked so hard on this. I also want to pay special tribute to Mr. Musa Kamara. He's right there at the back. I work closely with him, and I know even today, at some point, we were just trying to figure out what may be outstanding, but we were not just definitive about what was outstanding. That is how much we worked so hard to get us to where we are. And as the ambassador has said, I'm sure these are sentiments that resonate with all of us. And I'm sure we'll always have the Russian Foundation and the Russian House and the ties between the Republic of Sierra Leone and the Russian Foundation in our hearts, in our best wishes, and in our prayers. Ladies and gentlemen, it now gives me the profound honor to invite for our keynote the Honorable Minister of Planning and Economic Development, Minister Dr. Kene Bale.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I didn't know it was a keynote, but it'll be a short keynote because I didn't know it was. But I would like to say, colleague ministers, well, there's only one minister, Minister Julius Matai, Minister of Mines, His Excellency, Ambassador to the Russian Federation, Director General of SLBC, representatives of the Russian Heritage Foundation, and I stand on all other protocols. It is an honor for me to be here among such great people, such products of the education system of Russia. And I would like to congratulate all that have brought this endeavor to fruition. And I would like to vouch what the Honorable Minister of Mines said in terms of carrying Russia on his sleeve. He even converses in the Ministers' Forum in Russian. Both him and the Minister of Foreign Affairs and one other minister. I think I'm the fourth minister that participates. Only because I'm inquisitive. So what I do is I Google translate their Russian, write what I want to write, and then I send it. I also participate in Russian in this forum. But also the only words I know in Russian, as I said, is spasiba. And somewhere along the line, smajeluska. I don't know where that came from. I'm told it's please. I don't know if I was, had to ask or plead with somebody in Russia, because I have traveled to Russia, and I'll say a little bit about that a bit later. But as Minister of Planning and Economic Development, as a ministry, whatever we do, we thrive on partnerships. Partnerships from non-governmental organizations, of which the Russian Heritage Foundation is, and you're registered with us, I believe, and also bilateral partnerships. So I hope that we are going to, I look forward to stronger relations with Russia. But as NGO partners, we welcome you, and you'll see that there is a strong framework for cooperation. We do have a development cooperation framework in which we have policies for NGOs and policies for bilateral and multilateral relations. And we've strengthened these policies, strengthened the framework, so that we make enough space for NGO partners to work, because we know that they have diverse expertise and approaches to development, and we need this within the context of our development framework. Also, in the area of bilateral relations, or within the context of Sierra Leone development space, we have launched, we had, and it's almost a year old now, launched our medium-term national development plan that provides the overall framework for all our development initiatives. And these are anchored in the big 5 game changers. But I would like to say, before I go into the potential benefits of this relationship, that I did study in Russia, but I didn't stand up because it was only for about a week, if I can recall. But coincidentally, and in the Russian Federation, within that week or 10 days, I was in Russia, in Moskva, and I did go to Uzbekistan, Almaty, and Kazakhstan. So I do have fond memories, And one thing I do remember, that the champagne is still as good as the champagne that I tasted today. But I didn't develop the taste for caviar. There was a lot of it around, but I didn't develop the taste for caviar. But the program I actually went on was a program, and this was before you went, Minister. This was in, I think, September 1985. Yes. So it was on Aeroflot. So it was the USSR. But it was looking at the Russian development experience and how developing countries can learn from that. So at that time, Russia's development had just taken off. And now we see how it's, well, I've heard, I haven't been there, and what I've read and what I saw, but definitely you're way ahead, you know, in terms of development. Maybe if we would have really listened closely that 38, 39 years ago, we would have. But we do have products that have come back to Sierra Leone. And so what I want to say is that within the context of our medium-term development plan, there are sectors that we can now specify that we can have bilateral relations, or even through the Russian Heritage Foundation support. Because even with the private sector, we have revised our public investment management policy, in which it's been expanded. We have a stronger institutional framework. We also have included climate issues and gender issues. But at the crux of it is that we are welcoming investments for bankable projects in Sierra Leone. And I'm sure the Heritage Foundation can facilitate this. In the other areas, because we did look at, whilst I was there, at the agricultural sector, health sector, education sector. I won't say that much about the education sector, or even the health sector. But our flagship program within the development, the medium-term national development plan, you've heard of the Big 5 game changers, I'm sure. And Big 5 game changer 1 is Feed Salon. And I feel that we can really, really benefit from the Russian Federation in this area. So I think that you should make this one of your primary goals, to see how we can work bilaterally on advancing all of the Big 5 game changers, but we start with the agricultural sector. We do also have enablers that people don't talk about, but I will talk about them today. Diversifying the economy is enabler 1, and why I am talking about it is I don't want Honorable Minister of Mines to feel left out. Diversifying the economy, we're looking at the sectors, some of the sectors that are supposed to be here today, the tourism sector, the mining sector, the manufacturing sector. So I want to bring them in as well. If you can look at enabler 1, diversifying the economy and seeing how our relationships, both as an NGO and bilateral relationship, can strengthen what we're doing and help us to achieve the goal of our medium-term national development plan. Game changer 2 is human capital development. As I have said, or as per the testimony, you have developed our human capital here. Education, I think, has been the strongest forte of our relationship with Russia. So I would like us to expand on that and look at other innovative ways that you can help in the education sector. Health sector also, Dr. Kapua? Dr. Kapua, is he? Okay, Dr. Kapua spoke about the Keynote Hospital, and he said there is room for improvement. So I'd like you to look at supporting one of your graduates to improve the institution that he's working in. And there are other areas, social protection, housing, women's empowerment, that you could be of assistance. youth employment scheme. Well, a lot of those that went to Russia in those days, or USSR, were youth. So you empowered a lot of youth from Sierra Leone already, but these youth are now adults. So if we can have a new crop of youth that can have their capacities built to come back to Sierra Leone and employ other youth, that will be appreciated. Technology and infrastructure, somebody has already mentioned that you are at the forefront of in the energy sector and the forefront of providing energy solutions. So we will look to you to facilitate. I'm not putting everything on the Russian Heritage Foundation, but this is a link that we have started, that we have strengthened, because you already have deep roots here, but it is a link that we have strengthened, and we would like to, as Minister of Planning and Economic Development, I would like the country to capitalize on. So if you come to work or you expand your work in Sierra Leone, whatever you do is going to be very much appreciated, because you do have, I believe, as individuals and as a nation, a lot to offer. We're talking about cultural ties. We have, what you say, 190 something nationalities. We don't have that many, but I know that there are deep in terms of art. When I was growing up, I always learned about the Russian icon, the icons that were kept in Russia. And there are so many areas of rich and diverse culture. And I remember when I was in Uzbek, I think the Uzbeks looked Chinese. I think they were the ones more that Chinese Oriental. And I know that that is part of your culture. The Kazakhs were more, the Kazakhs were more, they looked more like, more Arabic, or like Southern Indian or Asian, because the Chinese are Asian. And I know that that also is incorporated into your culture. So we welcome you. We want to do much more with you. The Ministry of Planning and Economic Development is always open to new institutions coming in, new bilateral partnerships, and so we welcome that also. And all I would like to say in rounding up is spasiba. Thank you.
Spasiba, Madam Minister. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I wish to take the opportunity on behalf of the Foundation to say sincere thanks and appreciation to the Ministry of Planning and Economic Development for the level of cooperation received in registering the Foundation. The Russian Heritage Foundation was first incorporated and registered as a company limited by guarantee by virtue of its charitable purposes, education, culture, etc. But now registered with the Ministry of Planning and Economic Development as an international non-governmental organization. Now wearing two hats on one head, it can harness the abundant opportunities within its charitable to the cutting of the ribbon, and that will take us into the house, and then the exhibition will be conducted by the Russian team. Hold on, that's one second. Madam Minister, please. Minister of Mines, Mineral Resources. And someone from the Russian Heritage will also pass the ribbon. Ladies and gentlemen, please follow us. Ladies and gentlemen, I have 3 ribbons. The Minister of Planning and Economic Development will do the first one. Can you turn down a bit? What color do you want to do? Green and white. Green and white. Yes. After 2, 1, 2. Woo! Next we have the Minister of Mines and Mineral Resources. After 2, 1, 2. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And next, the CEO of the foundation, Dimitri Dektyarev, will do the 3rd layer. After 2, 1, 2. A round of applause. Thank you so much, Madam Minister. You may wish to. Yes, can we proceed, please?
Now declare the House open.
Yes.
Okay. Distinguished guests, we now declare the Russian Heritage House open.
Ladies and gentlemen, please proceed for the commencement of the talk. Thank you.
You can listen. You can listen to the president of the Russian friendship in Russia, with the head all the scholarships and everything. Okay. Yeah, and he's also head of these Russian heritage houses. Okay. Yeah. Okay, we can. Yes.
Дорогие друзья, friends, esteemed guests, I am sincerely glad to welcome you to the opening of the Russian Partner House in Sierra Leone. This house will become a symbol of friendship and cooperation between our peoples, a place where everyone interested in the Russian language, Russian culture, its educational and tourism potential can meet, exchange experiences, and simply have a great time together. I am confident that the Russian House will become not only a center of Russian culture, but also a platform for joint initiatives, dialogue, and the exchange of ideas. There will be Russian language courses, exhibitions, lectures, and other events that will help us get to know each other better. I want to thank everyone who contributed to the creation of this wonderful space. Your hard work and dedication made this event possible. Congratulations on this significant day. I wish the Russian House prosperity and many years of life. To all the guests, success and good luck in everything.
Welcome to Russian House.
You can take it all.
Okay.
That way.
Exhibition about our Russian traditional buildings, our Russian cultural, our Russian towns, small and big. You can explain it, and if you have some question, we try to explain what happened this.
Vladivostok.
Yes, but
it's in the files.
Выставка размещена таким образом, что от Москвы и по убыванию
we're going this way, yeah?
находятся города.
Okay, he wants us to go this way.
Okay.
Red Square. famous Red Square. Yes. If you go to Moscow, you don't visit the Red Square. You haven't been to Moscow. Yes. This is the only thing they show. But Moscow, I can assure you, is even better than looks better than London or New York. Yeah. I've been to both places. We're going further. This is Moscow City. Moscow City, if you've been to Manhattan or Canary Wharf, they are all putting together one. We have them in Moscow City. Very beautiful place. And this is where I like taking my guests. Where is Peter and Julius? I like taking my guests here. There's a restaurant on the 62nd floor.
Take you to PZ.
That's why I take
PZ? Yeah. This is like our PZ, right?
Exactly. This is the 67th floor. That's why I take 62nd floor. That's why I take my guests to have lunch. So anytime you come to Russia, you are invited to come to the 62nd floor at the Moscow City. Nizhny Novgorod is one of the industrial heartlands of Russia. Yeah. That's where they produce the dump trucks that you have on the road. Yes. Nizhny Novgorod, Gazelle. That's where they have the main Gazelle thing. You know, I have not reviewed these photos, but I think I know these places, so I can continue. So, and of course the Kremlin in Novgorod. What is about Russia is most of these big towns, they go the Kremlin. They go an example of the Kremlin that is in Red Square in Moscow. So most of the other cities in Kazan and other places, they've got Kremlin. You know, they've got a small little baby Kremlin. So moving on. Do you? Yeah, no. This is matroshki. This is specific to Russia. Yes. Very specific to Russia.
It's like a small family.
Yes.
And
there's another one there.
One by one.
Yeah.
It's like Russian toys.
Yeah.
All of these.
Yeah, all of them will come and they'll go to the mother. Yeah, that's matroshki. Julius, you should remember this. This is the hotel we stayed, Bridge Hotel. And you got this bridge, this reclining bridge. Just like the London Bridge, it reclines. In fact, St. Petersburg has got a lot of these bridges because St. Petersburg is a sea town. So it's a seafaring. So it's got a lot of boats going around all over the place. So most of the bridges. But there's a hotel here that we stayed in St. Petersburg last time I was there. This is Kazan Cathedral. Kazan Cathedral is one of the biggest and oldest cathedrals in Russia. And in Kazan Cathedral, you actually have the mummies of some of the Russian tsars. I've been there, Nicholas, Peter. You go to Kazan Cathedral, you find all of these people. I've stayed in Russia too long, so I know this place. I've reviewed this. This is Kazan. Like I was saying to you, Kazan is in Tatarstan, and it's one of the most beautiful places you can find. I've been to Tatarstan. It's also one of the oil regions of Russia, and Kazan is as tolerant as Tatarstan is as tolerant as Sierra Leone. You see church here, you see mosques, and you see synagogue. They all kind of, there's this perception about Russia that there is no religion, you know, but they are forgetting that Russia is the seat of the oldest Orthodox church in the world, the oldest Orthodox church, and Russian Orthodox still take care of the Orthodox churches in Jerusalem. They care for them. So that's the land of the oldest Orthodox, but people will tell you that they don't worship, but they worship. They are Muslims, they are Christians, Jews, etc. Okay, this is Kapua, Karelia. You can see Russia like to preserve some of their old buildings, really, really old buildings. If you go to Russia, you see houses that are big, 600, 700, 2,000, 3,000 years old, and those buildings are still being used by people. They repair them every time. You know, like in Sierra Leone, we don't have the culture of maintenance. But Russia is really big time there. How do we go? Go this way, yeah?
Really, it's Northern Lights.
Yes. Northern Lights. Northern Lights. Okay? Let's go. Yeah, let's go. This is a bridge that that connects the Russian Russian Federation to the main island premier. Yeah, and then it's a very new project that they built.
But it's our president like
the president likes the bridge. He said we should build it, and they built the bridge. Okay. Oh, Marina, Sochi. If you go to Sochi, this is like where Sochi is one of the best places. Julius and I were in Sochi 2019.
It's like a beach number 2,
it's their
but on Russia.
Yeah. Is that okay?
No, it's not Turkey. It's beach number 2.
Yeah, beach number 2. Beach number 2. So you have all the boats, and some of the boats are actually made there in the marina. They are made there, and then they've got a lot of. I've actually sat in a boat in this place, and we rode on. We had a rode on the Black Sea, and then whilst we were in the middle of the Black Sea, some of the Russians in the boat jumped into the Black Sea, and they were saying, "Mohammed, come and join." I said, "Not me, not me. Look, let's come this way." I know we cannot miss this one. This is very traditional to Russia.
Okay.
If you go to the Minister of Mines' office, you find something there, or his house. Yeah, this is samovar, and if you even probably go to the president's lodge, he's got something like this also there. This is very traditional to Russia. This is called hot drink. That's where you make your tea and you drink. Very traditional to Russia. And then we come to the table there. Dimitri, pomogите мне уже. Объясни. Oh, Alexander.
This is the old toys in Russia. Old toys. And musician instruments. Yes, like this one.
Like this. Or
like this. And this one.
Oh wow. The birds are eating.
Yeah. It's for little children in villages.
our shoes. But no, this time. But
Okay. What last one?
Lapti. It's named Lapti. Yes. Here we have some dresses.
Yeah, Russian
cultural
outfits.
Yes, for men, for woman, for child. We can move.
This is actually a toy?
No, it's yes,
we are finishing.
Yes, it's all of this from wood.
You use it to drink punch?
Yes. Here we put apples or something. Here we put some.
Let's
yeah, let's go. It's for me. Yes.
Of course, this is, I don't need to explain this. Beer is very common. It's like a traditional animal to Russia. Beer. You know, and that's Kamchatka. That's one of the far distances from Moscow. Like the Honorable Minister of Mines said earlier, Russia has 11 time zones. So when some of you are waking up, some other people are sleeping. You can travel like 8 hours within the Russian Federation, or 9 hours, 10 hours. Yeah. You know. So Baikal is the deepest lake in the world and the most reserved freshwater in the world. Baikal, River Baikal. That's like yeah, and in fact, in Russia, I only drink water from the Baikal because it's very good, very good. This is Alenia. This thing is very sweet. The reindeer. Yeah, I've eaten it when I went to Siberia. You know, I've eaten it. This thing looks like it tastes just like deer, our deer. Very sweet. Yeah, reindeer. Yeah. So
and we have biggest mining on Keynote.
Yeah.
I've seen one like this in Serbia.
Yeah. Absolutely, they're there. Yeah, we have them. Okay, I think we finished.
The second
This is
highest bridge in the world.
In the world, yeah, and it's at the far east of Russia, Vladivostok, and not far from the Japan and China, etc. Vladivostok. So that is that. I think there is Jamiru. I think he was saying that we go down to eat. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think we are going down to eat. Okay, that's the most important thing. Eating. Thank you very much. You see, when you go to somebody's country, you need to know their culture. You need to know their places. Yeah, you need to know their places, their culture, everything.
System and the same problem. So what do we for do? Oh, we never did. Wait for make this problem, yeah, so when.